everybody, Thy Lord Root here, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Prison Architect. So, when we last left, we were working on getting our prisoner uptake going, trying to make some money out of this prison, and various other things. And I think that it's worth noting that we are getting a little bit closer to doing that now. If we just zoom in real quick, we have one prisoner who's been trusted enough to work on the plates that the foreman, or rather, I guess the foreman's teaching him how to do it. We got these two guys here, um, possibly leaving. It's hard to tell. But I wanted to, at any rate, get this guy going here, so get some more prisoners in. We're about to hit capacity for minimum security, for the time being at least. And I just want to go ahead and get these guys here. Ooh, somebody managed to get a hold of the keys. That is not good. That is a breach of security that is not going to be tolerated in this prison. But that's sort of the problem here, is that we now have prisoners that haven't ended up doing much in the way of reform. And these minimum security prisoners, I think I've come to the conclusion that they just don't hang around long enough to be reformed. They get released pretty much before you can really do much. And then they get things like education and all that jazz, but in terms of reform, they actually don't do all that well. So we want to keep that in mind. By the way, I found the TV from last time. It ended up getting put in the shower, which is probably not the best place for it. We've had these things go on to where items are getting randomly placed to random TVs as well, that we will just keep in storage for the time being. But as you can see, we are looking, at least for the moment, at doing something in the way of expansion. I'm going to go ahead and get these guys up here clones, so that we at least have some things going on. But we at least have that one side of the prison here. That leaves us with a fair amount of money. And I'm going to add another capacitor, I think. Now we have serious complaints here. What are those complaints? We go up here to needs. People are complaining about clothing and food and sleep. Unfortunately, we can't really do much about the food and sleep issue. Somebody has been caught with garden shears. These maximum security prisoners are very much an issue. Well, they're not maximum security, but we do have to worry about some of these guys going into solitary confinement and even worse, escaping. But we have prisoners arriving at least, and I think we have done ourselves a very good job here. Minimum security will get an upgrade at some point. But these guys will leave these doors open for now. And while I'm at it, we might as well put in metal detectors since we have the money. And that will leave prison block D as after we finish this, somebody has been found with cigarettes. You just can't really teach some people. No doubt their lawyers will be calling, telling us that cigarettes are an essential human need. And for that matter, maybe they are. Maybe we're depriving prisoners of the things they need in order to be good prisoners. But they are getting yard time. At least they can't complain too much. And I think that really we could afford to hire another chef, maybe. That will bring our funds down a little bit, but it'll probably be worth it. What was I going to do? I think I was going to check to make sure that this is solitary here. So we have, in fact, brought in a fair amount of money. I'm just going to build this thing up until we get exactly what we want and need. And we'll put it on twice the speed. More complaints here. Hygiene is apparently an issue. I'm expecting that will go down though. Now what do we got here? We have an escape attempt of some kind. Somebody has decided to try burrowing under the walls because they just can't handle minimum security prison. But while we're at it, why don't we get these guys here? I think we can do without an infirmary rather for a few minutes. We'll set these guys here to be dismantled. We don't want to just dump them because they have uses. But while we got this one doctor over here, we'll leave that one medical bed for whenever we're ready, probably. And this other doctor is probably on the way over here, and we're auto-saving, it looks like. Well, they should get fresh clothes, at least. I think it would be good for us to put in another guard at this point, and we'll put in a second patrol. And yes, I am spending a lot of money on this, but I think it will be worth it. So we've got our extra guard down here doing guard duty. Do we not? We do have this one guy here. 10 hours until our prisoners come, and we're already up to 70 cells. As for why these guys are not getting, for some reason, this stuff here was not copied. That's kind of weird. No wonder this is less expensive. Because no one really bothered to do anything with this. I don't know if it's just that the beds do not exist yet, or they're waiting for these people to come bring them, but it would be very good for us to have additional cells before these guys show up. And that won't take too terribly long for us. I think that will be just fine. And as long as we keep the tension down low, and we'll maybe even put a canine unit in somewhere. Because these guys aren't under the strictest scrutiny. At least it wouldn't appear to be the case. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to put some kind of... Well, they got 3 metal detectors in there. That may be okay as it is. And we can handle our peak prison population. Is there anything we might want to add to here? I don't know, that's a good question. We do want to add medical beds at least to this area here. And this is simply just for convenience. We don't want that hospital. Oops, we got a spare that I didn't think about. Well, we'll dismantle that. And this will no longer be an infirmary. And these doctors are probably going to go to our hospital here. Now, how many guys do we have on this patrol here? We do have 4 guards open. We'll just stick them in this room here. And once somebody comes and gets that bed, then I think we'll be okay. But yes, we do want to be very careful with that. add in a couple of cells up here while we're at it. And we're due to get more prisoners soon. This actually isn't too terribly bad. We're making a lot of money here. Although we seem to have gotten a number of bends in our power supply. But we got prison uniforms that are being ordered. I don't know if that's because we're getting more prisoners or what. Somebody is neglecting their duties, though. This much I do know. And these guys are about to come in. Let's just have a look at our prisoner status here. We've got 4 of each, and we're at 51. I think we'll stop taking in regular prisoners. As for finances, we're pulling in a lot of money just for not having a breakout attempt, and I think we could probably stand to increase security some. We have to wait for some of this, which is okay. These guys are just going to continue doing their thing, and let's just see how many beds we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on this side. And it looks like maybe 13 on this side. That's 26. We have 2 others. We have 28 cells for maximum security. And once we make enough in the way of money, then we'll do okay. Let's just take a look at our deployment here. We're probably okay for the time being. Let's see if we have anybody passing. Whoa, yeah, we have the reform program keeping us down, but we're making a ton of money so far. I think we'll just run this up a little bit so that we can continue to have more prisoners. I think we can take at least one more load of medium security. And these guys are either going to work or they're going somewhere else. We're making more than $100 an hour, though, which admittedly is not much, but it will help us expand some. And you'll notice if we go to our finance, maybe it's grants, our credit rating is at maximum. We can't really take any more out than this, so we want to start paying the bank off once we get ready with this. And we have a prisoner release going as well. I forgot to check the programs here. We are getting more in the way of tools. I don't know if that's just because the tools are easier to get or what. But where do we go for that? I think it is maybe jobs, policy. Destruction is locked down. Luxuries. We'll let these people. Oh, this guy's going into lockdown, it looks like. We've had one person pass the kitchen safety. And four interested. That probably means that we can balance this out a little bit. If we go here to jobs, somebody will surely be interested. We have 18 visitors in 6 groups. We may need a bigger visitation room, which means we can repurpose that into more in the way of laundry or maybe more jobs. That would be useful. And for now, I'm just going to leave this open. Even though these guys are regular security. So we've got people just hanging out here, it looks like. Looks like we found something on there, or nothing. It's an unreasonable search and seizure. Or maybe he passed through a metal detector, I don't know. But you can see our minimum security guys are doing just fine, aside from tripping up the security here. Now I wonder if there's a way. We'll dismantle that door. That door should be dismantled at this point. I think we should have a double lock system going on. Maybe a triple lock system, because there's really nothing in the way of clothing that'll help us. Let's get ourselves another gel cell going on as well. Now we still need CCTV. And that would be good. And we'll begin by putting some of that stuff in here. But there are some places we definitely want to watch. Our cash flow has gone down a little bit. I don't know if that's because we had an incident or what. Something is making this a little bit more expensive. Maybe it's the amount of taxes we're doing. These guys... they're not using their food. Where is the regime here? I don't know if this is the regime for all prisoners. It might be kind of interesting to allow some of these more hardened criminals to do other things, to, have a different schedule. but we are making a little bit less money. Let's have a shakedown in the morning. We don't need to lock down or do a bang up, but a shakedown is probably not the worst idea that's ever been conceived. It may be a good idea at this point to consider where we're going to expand and how. If we can get up to 20 grand, which will really be the trick for us, then that would be very good. But I don't want to do a taser rollout just quite yet. I want to at least get cell block C going, and we're already at 80. We've only got this half of the cell block to go. How are we doing on our programs? Well, we've got 21% of people that have taken this program here. They have passed, which is awesome. Congrats to them. They are definitely a good fit for us. They are model prisoners, whatever that may entail. I mean, I don't know if such a thing can exist as a model prisoner, but if any such person exists, it would be these people who passed the foundational stuff. Maybe it's worth it at this point to go ahead and schedule maybe general education, even though there's only one. So that maybe, well, I guess Matt Damon wasn't a prisoner, he was just a janitor in Goodwill Hunting, but maybe they'll become prison professors at some point. So we'll go ahead, we'll do a shakedown real quick. The prisoners may not be happy about it, but you know how it is whenever people try to escape. You gotta be really, really careful with them. Because they will eventually escape. Or maybe this wasn't the best place to do it, or the best time to do a shakedown, because they are running back and forth. But I think a regular shakedown isn't a bad idea. I mean, look at these guys. This guy is sleeping with a bottle of booze in his bed, snuggling it, caressing it gently. Obviously for medicinal purposes, because he had a spoon too. We'll we'll take this guy off of deployment for the time being, and we'll figure out exactly what it is we'll be doing. And I'm happy to say I think we can afford maybe a few more of the prisoners. And we're making bank here. That means that we want to hire more in the way of guards, or we want to expand our cells, which I hadn't really decided yet. We'll take these guys. We need to get somebody to move the laundry basket for us because it's conveniently in the way. But what do we just spend money on? Concrete. Did that really just happen? 8 prisoners. We have 24 right now, and I think we had 28. Adding these 3 cells will give us 27. So we will have more cells shortly. And this will give us, we'll be at 84. This will give us 87. And we will then have, looks like 92 cells in our beloved prison. Now, here's a question. Have we found anything that might suggest an escape attempt? Not yet. We found drugs, though, and we found jail keys. And we are, of course, in the negative here. Part of me says we should take out another loan, although I'm not quite sure how ready I am to do that. On the one hand, it wouldn't be a bad idea, I don't think. But on the other hand, it may end up being a terrible idea. And how are our needs doing on this? We are running into food issues, it looks like. We have a prisoner that needs to be released. We're at 48. We have 54 cells, I think. Which means that we will want to be doing some. Oh, I see what happened with our cash flow. We have that general education class that nobody can go to because it's All rooms booked. We have a general education class nobody can really go to at the moment because we are working on what happened here. I placed a bed somewhere and I don't know where. What's going on here? Enclosed and surrounded by walls and doors. Now, where's that bed we placed? This does seem to be a recurring problem. Although I don't know if that's because of the fact that we're... Oh no, somebody... Not this again. This is getting rather annoying. I hate how you can sort of destroy doors and things like that. But I think we'll go ahead and we'll make this here our new cleaning cupboard. And we'll remove the staff door. There's no reason for these guys here to have to really suffer as such. Dismantle this door and move it over here. I don't know where this... Oh, that guy is... I guess he didn't get the order, did he? So the good news is that we're back up again. And that is, that's something that we want to look forward to. Is getting these guys going one at a time. And unfortunately, this guy's in prison now. So we had, what is it, 26 over here, plus, we have presently 32 cells in our maximum security block, and I think that once we do that, we've got these two prisoners that need to be released. That will give us the opportunity to get more minimum security. We've got 3 prisoners, in fact. And enclosed by walls or doors. I'm not sure I understand how these aren't enclosed. It is a rather big deal that they are, though. We're at least. We're doing okay on this, at least. I think we could probably invest. Oh wow, we've got more prisoners than we know what to do with at this point. But we are making a ton of money. That's 13 prisoners we have, so we can actually leave that as it is. We're making 5 grand a day, which means we're making close to 200 bucks an hour. Although, well, Richard Nash, it looks like, is not been released yet. And what's happened here? Why don't we have anybody here on the route? Is he trapped in there? I don't know, but we're doing okay now. I think maybe if we dismantle these doors and put them back, it'll say it's enclosed. Because these guys aren't imprisoned anybody anyway. Do we have anybody in solitary, by the way? Okay, quit slacking. I don't know, that's a good question. If we have anybody in solitary, it would be good to know. We'll get the rest of these cells up and going. And this will give us 39 cells, which will mean that we will have, for the most part, everything we need here. I mean, even with the ebb and flow here of the cash, I mean, we are doing extremely well. We're bound to probably have some accidents, but if we pay off our loan, which we are getting close to, and what's going on here, looks like what's going on here is that we need to buy some more land so that we can extend this out a little bit. And how has our manufacturing gone? If we look at programs, we have two people that have passed the workshop induction, and that's something to be proud of. Needs, the food is a huge need, and that's probably going to go down presently. Now that we have people working to get everything going, we'll also open up to bring in 13 minimum security prisoners. And why does the CEO keep on mailing me? I don't think he realizes that I don't really want to talk to him. Now that's kind of ridiculous. I don't know why that isn't working. Oh, I know why. I put a little bit too much in the room. There we go. Wait, are these guys... Are these guys eating only once a day? I don't think I've seen them come to eat at all. And you know why that probably is? Because this isn't a canteen. That would explain why nobody has gone to eat. Now what's going on here? Enclosed by a door and a holding cell. Let's... It is surrounded by walls. It's kind of weird. It looks like this has gotten a little bit bugged out. Well, look at that. We've only got 4 more to go. And I guess I owe these prisoners here an apology for making their lives a living hell. That might explain why they're trying to escape so much. But I think, at any rate, we're going to want to get some money. A fair amount of money, actually. And we will want to set these guys up to where they are doing their thing. There's one thing here that we haven't really had a look at, which is our grade. And we have a 14% rate on this, so actually we may have looked at it last time, I'm not entirely sure. Our recidivism rate is actually low, which is good in a way. It's not good for us because we're in the business of incarcerating people, but it is good for the prisoners. And while I'm at it, I'm going to set this guy to always open. Because I really have nowhere to go. I mean, that just basically means that when we get going here, and I'm going to put this on maximum speed. When we let these guys go, I mean, it's not going to be too bad of a deal. So we're at 36 or so. I thought I had disabled that. Let me do that real quick. That should have been disabled. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, we're rolling in the dough here. Whoa, what was that? I guess that was the dog handler. No, we are yet, and this is probably because we have no room for exports, which I think I will create. We presently have nothing going on here. Well, I guess except for a need for another capacitor. And I don't know why we're not getting... Whoa. Did we find something here? I don't know. I've been kinda waiting for for these prisoners to pass. So we need 15 to pass the foundational education. Unfortunately. Now, where is our guard? It probably would not hurt to have another guard employed here. Oh, you know what else they're probably complaining about? It looks like I forgot to allocate most of these rooms. So these guys have no shower head, and what are we missing here? A serving table. We have a serving table, or we did. Nice, nice. We're more or less at capacity. We'll close off influx for now. Actually, we are more than at capacity. We're gonna have some of these guys hang around in the holding cells. I think as we expand, however, we will move the workshop and maybe turn this into a visitation area. I think if we continue to add cells on, and we'll only need eight or so, eight or more, to get our grant. And then we just continually intake prisoners to deal with that. Then they will happen to get exactly what they need. And we'll be back in the 5 or 6 digits before too long. Of that we can be sure. Now, if we go down here to our needs, food is the greatest need, and these guys, they are starving because they have not really done. I've basically starved them for over a week without even realizing it. It's like somebody has been caught doing something illegal. And that means, well, I don't want to do a shakedown just yet. I want these guys to eat before they riot. But it looks like somebody has decided to somebody has decided to create problems here. And unfortunately, there's not much we can do about that. Aside from that policeman pushing these guys out of the way. Why are we... Oh, somebody has started a fight in the break room. Which means we want to deploy a guy here to keep watch. And what is going on here? Why is this enclosed by... Well, this is rather strange. You know what I bet happened? We had that incident. Or did we? Yeah, we had some violence going on and we lost that 6 grand. And this may be the end of the prison for us. We may be forced to sell it to pay off our debt. Because this stuff is having to get repaired. I'm going to have to do a shakedown. And as for, we need to release somebody. I don't know who we should release. But as long as we have somebody needing medical attention, that's not going to be good. Why do we just have a random prison door here? Is this a result of my game getting messed up earlier? I don't know, but it's clear to me somebody's going to have to get fired so that we can make some amount of money. Once the number of incidents stay down, I think it'll be okay. We've just got to get these guys up and going. And we'll just go to the rooms here. I'm gonna make this a cleaning closet of some kind, wherever that is. We got $1 in cash flow. It looks like nobody has tried to escape. What about the needs here? Food and recreation has gone down very slightly. But we probably had it coming to us. If I didn't allow that fight to happen, then maybe things wouldn't have been so bad. But I'm beginning to regret having taken out that loan. It maybe was not the smartest thing I could have done at this point. And we've got so much in the way of trucks that we have to worry about here. And because we got the shakedown going, then it's something we have to worry about. We got all of these people here that are trapped now because we're doing the shakedown. I just... Hold on. I just muted that. I don't know why it's being such a pain. But I do know that something is up with the room here. And if we go to the holding cell, I'll bet you what it is I've accidentally deleted part of it. There we go. These guys are wistfully waiting for this to come out. I don't want to have to shut down the program, the education program, but I may need to. Well, what has happened this time? I think somebody's been released. We'll briefly stop foundational education. At least for now, because we need the money badly. We had that one incident and it completely ruined us. And to think if it weren't for that loan we took out, then it might have been okay. But as it stands, I decided to play with fire and I sure got burnt. I mean, between accidentally 6 in lockdown, one requires medical attention. Who is the guy that requires medical attention? Because nobody is taking care of him. Is it this guy? His name was what? Chambers? He needs. Maybe it's this thin guy here. This other one is economy. I think that I can't really read that. It would be nice if it would show us who needed medical. Oh, this guy. This guy needs medical attention. So why don't we. That's ridiculous, though. Why can't we get these guys to do their job and escort the the prisoner? Because it seems to me like we've got this issue now to where we can't really do much because this guy needs medical attention and he's not getting it. And the prisoners are ignoring him. I don't know if it's just that maybe we're just not able to pay for that. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take out another loan. And our credit rating will suffer for it. But it has to be done. We have to get that grant so that we can at least see we're at 92. We need 8. We have to get that grant so we can at least get this prison back to normal. That's 4. That's 5. 6, 7, 8, and 9. And something tells me we'll need another capacitor. We're doing so well, too. See, I rather hate that because at this point we're going to become insolvent, and our inability to pay is probably, I bet you if we go here, our interest is going down a little bit. I mean, unfortunately, that's kind of the way we have to deal with it. These are drastic times for us, and we have to get somebody to bring in money for us. If it weren't for the sheer amount of prisoners that we had to deal with, then it wouldn't be so bad. Indeed, I should have just taken the grant at this point and, or not the grant, but the other deal. I mean, the good thing is that we at least have several things going on here. And if we can just ride this out, and that's going to be the hard part there. If we can just ride this out for however long it takes for us to get prisoners, and that won't take long. I mean, we had 39 cells originally, and we're at 30. It's time for us to begin taking in more prisoners. There's no way around it. In fact, we're going to need to take in several prisoners. But who have I got to fire? I've got to do a couple of things here. I've got to kill all programs, and I've got to fire 4 people, so I'm going to fire those guys, and I have a spare chef. And that puts us in the green for now. I'm very hesitant to fire those guards because they are going to cause us a number of problems. And that's unfortunate. If we get rid of guards, then we are going to run very quickly out of, you know, people. We're going to have a mass ride on it, and then we're going to become insolvent. And we do have a loan that's outstanding. If we the valuation on that right now, this is worth 252 grams, but we have that loan that's outstanding. The only thing I can say is I didn't have much of a choice. If it were up to me, this project would have been done already. And all it really took was that one dude to cause a fight and mess things up for us. It's such as it is, there's really not much that can be done about it anymore. Except to hope that these guys will. Ooh, we have found a way out. Unfortunately, we have prisoners arriving, more profitable prisoners than what we have presently. And that will help keep us afloat at least until these cells are finished. We're going to have to rely on the fact that we do happen to have these guys working. And you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity to expand this room down here, this common room, so they have more in the way of entertainment. Before our yellow collar guys begin to cause us trouble. Now, we've got a little bit more in the way of money coming in, fortunately. So maybe we can hire some of these guys back. At least that's the hope. I would like for them to be hired back, because this is slowing down construction quite a good deal. I mean, if you take a look at this, right, like, we had such a good plan for our prisons. And nothing in the way of services now. Although I think we can begin by bringing workshop safety back in, and kitchen safety and hygiene. And I think it's going to be okay to continue foundational education. that just happens to mean that we will now probably have to deal with these guys being being a bit of an issue. I'm gonna hire one of these workmen back, I think. At least for now. It seems like the sensible thing to do. Because it is taking forever. We broke a prison somehow. And somebody has. I don't know if the prisoner broke the wall or if I did. I guess they'll be able to say hi to each other. But they got their free time going on. And some of them undoubtedly are going to use that to shower. I think the next thing for us to do is to hire another cook. Yes, we are sort of hemorrhaging cash here. And it's going to be unfortunate that until we get back exactly what we need, that we'll have to get these guys to finish. Why is nobody going to the doctor? Is it that we need two doctors here? Or what? We just need, for an infirmary, I think we just need a medical bed, which we have 6 of. And I'm beginning to think we need some people on the cleaning front here. I don't know why these two guys haven't been taken care of yet. But I think the violence is back down at least, and that is a good start. I'm also going to put down a jail cell here, even though it could be circumvented. Awesome, we have our grant. And I guess all that really means is if we grab. We have 29,000. I'm going to go to our grants real quick. We'll get the maximum security thing going. For cell block D. Maximum security, I think, will be easy enough for us to implement, and then we could start working on cell block D, which is 200. We can. We are back up now. That's very good. Because that means just very quickly we can get this research that we need. For this grant, we need a CCT monitor and a CCT television. So let's just begin getting our guy working on that immediately. CCTV, I think, is going to be the biggest thing. We also need body armor and tasers. And now we are back up to the point to where we can begin paying off this grant and getting this monkey off our back. We can hire back some of these guys that we had previously fired. And after about a week or so, we will get a bonus of some kind. And I'm just going to real quickly, before we leave, I'm going to get this back up and going so that we don't become so dependent on that bonus. Because we do have prisoners coming in at this time. And you know what? I actually rather like this idea that we would be able to support just a few more. It is expensive as this must seem. It'll pay off in the long run, except when I do that. Yeah, it'll pay off in the long run. Because now we're back to the point to where we really can make money. It's not a holding cell, that's a regular cell. And we've got our new shipment of prisoners in, so I'm going to, before we go, hire just a couple more janitors. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one a game for now until we come back later. This has been the iLord Root, and I will see you next time.